All right, let's begin. Hello, everyone who is watching the recording. This is May the 2nd, 2020. It is episode 7 of Bonfire English Talks, and we have changed the platform. Today it is Zoom. And I'm happy to welcome Jorge from Brazil.
Hello.
Then to the right is Eugenia, Krasnoyarsk, Maria from Krasnoyarsk,
Hi.
Olesa, Krasnoyarsk,
Hi.
Nastya. Should I say Krasnoyarsk or Novosibirsk in this case?
Красноярск, Новосибирск.
Because I was quite confused. Like you sometimes said that you study at Novosibirsk, but you are now in Krasnoyarsk, right?
No, I study like that on the distance.
Yeah, I see. So, but you still live here in Krasnoyarsk.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Like,
okay, cool. So then we have Caroline from Cape Town, South Africa. Hello.
Hello.
And we have our DJ beatbox MC.
How about sound?
It's like sublime. It's just heavenly music. It's and it's Vadim from Krasnoyarsk.
It's very...
You said hello or yo? No, now the sound is not good. Something has changed.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good.
No,
Yeah.
not good. I mean, it is specific. It's peculiar, fresh, but not good.
got psycho.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can try to kind of also do the same, but I'm afraid it's going to result into a catastrophe. Yeah, so that's our team for today. And just a quick question, Masha, is it possible to use some light around you?
Yes, okay. I will try.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Because you are quite in the shadows. Well, that's the opposite thing. I didn't ask.
She has two windows, and she tries to have her light only from one window, to not be in a silhouette.
I see.
Don't have another window on background.
I see. That's very complicated.
It's not the first time.
I see.
Like all our calls with clients.
Yeah.
Well,
I
actually,
have two windows, and that's why
all right.
one beside me and one on the left. So yeah.
Actually, I should say that I like this color combination. I mean, this palette that you have, it's quite outstanding because what I usually see, I'll read the message from the chat after I finish. It's quite funny. So the combination of blue, orange, and like this is quite interesting. It's kind of steampunk, or I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And Light on the chat says, "We should better see you, Masha," said Wolf. And
Okay. So
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
hopefully
and about the chat. So if you want to see the messages real time, I can drop the link so that you also can follow, and that I don't have it only for myself. I'll now drop the link of the stream on Zoom chat, and you'll be able to see it too. So this is the place where we have it, and yeah.
So do we just press on the link, Andy?
Yes, and you will see our stream, and you'll see the messages come in real time. I mean, I will read them anyway,
Okay.
but it's just maybe you want to also see what's happening. And let me just begin with a standard question. I quite like it because it. I believe it helps us stay kind of positive and positivity oriented. What nice things happened to you this week? Like something that made you happy, something that lifted your mood. What you could share. It could be something simple like a new piece of jewelry, a nice meal, successfully completed task or maybe something massive like you won a scholarship to Harvard. So yeah, who would like to begin? Crime, call the police. There was Russian. So
So who would we start with?
that's
may
that's
start.
the question. Yeah. Well, okay, Alyssa,
really?
please.
Except the cancellation of governmental exams, so the day before yesterday, I bought a new computer.
Oh.
Really,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yes,
You know,
congratulations.
that previous computer had been living for 12 years. There was Windows XP, Microsoft Office 7, but now like I have the same Windows, the same Microsoft Office as on my tablet, and it's perfect. Like fast computer, fast equipment is all we need in this life, I think, for working. Because I'm not a player.
Yeah, that's right. Fast internet is the basic needs for modern people. Yeah.
But people in Africa do not need fast, do not need 5G.
Yeah.
Good that Caroline didn't hear that. So about a gaming computer, I think it's kind of a misconception because let me mute. So I think it's a misconception that there is this gaming computer only for games. I think it's not true because there is Caroline's daughter. I think. Caroline, are you okay? What's happening there? Okay, let's watch what's happening.
They should share screen.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
So,
I'm sorry, Andy. I disappeared for a while.
Yeah.
So I pressed the wrong button.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm back with you. Thank you.
All right. I was about to ask you, is everything okay? Because the program has changed. So is it fine for you?
No, it's a bit chaotic here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'll sort it out from my end. You carry on.
But actually, I mean, from our side, everything is just perfect. I mean, we can see you properly, we can hear you properly. The image quality is quite high and the sound is perfect. So if this suffices, but what's happening from your side?
Oh, strangely enough, I'll tell you what my voices, I'm hearing all the voices at the same time, and I think I pressed I pressed a button to try and see the chat. It's chaotic. I hear everyone's voices at the same time, and then mine comes after a lag. And how this happened was that
I think you need to mute the live stream. Maybe
that's exactly what I need to do. So how do I do that?
Well, if you opened my link,
Yeah.
then you just open this browser window, and below the image there is this kind of toggle, this thing that controls the sound. Just make it minimum, or just turn it off completely.
Okay, that's.
Is it better now?
Probably share screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Down the screen, big green button.
So which button do I press?
yeah. So let me show you the screen. My screen. I mean, just a second. So this one.
If you're sharing the screen, you don't have this button, as far as I remember.
So can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
So you see, this is the thing I'm talking about. You need to just
This arrow, the arrow.
below, like you need to make it minimum.
Oh, this one, yes. Okay.
Just minimize it,
Yeah.
or just even turn off, and that should help.
Oh, okay. So do I press that?
Well, you either press, so you should see the cross like on my screen, or it should be minimum.
Yes, I
like,
do. I see the cross.
So I think it should be better now. You shouldn't hear your voice or our voices duplicating.
It seems okay.
All right, so the problem has been solved then.
Okay. I'm not sure that it has, but another thing I could do is go right off and then...
Are you still hearing voices?
No, I'm still hearing voices.
Mm-hmm. Can you try closing your browser?
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll start again.
Safari, just turn it off, Safari. And
I'll come back in. So I'll leave you, and then I'll come back in.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. I think it's actually my bad because I didn't tell Caroline that we begin 30 minutes earlier, and yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
So.
That seems better.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Perfect.
Great.
Nice.
I'm sorry.
No
about
problem.
that.
No problem.
It's me who should apologize. I should have actually called you yesterday and explained you how to work with this Zoom thing. But I think we can do it later. Just let I give you kind of rundown about this platform. Are you with us, Caroline?
Andy, it's a bit. I'm actually going to leave completely, and I'll come back later.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Right. Let's come back to this gaming computer. So what I was saying that nowadays software needs a lot of computing power. So you need a lot of RAM, a lot of video memory even for a simple browser like Chrome or YouTube is going to lag. And that's why when people buy a they say computer for studying or computer for work, then they suffer because this computer is just nothing. And it happened to one of my family members. Like they bought this kind of working computer, and then they had to invite an IT specialist to upgrade it. So of course for more money than they would have spent if they had bought a decent one previously in the first place. So.
But like when I was consulting to people who are profound at this computing, the first question they kept asking me, for what do you need a computer? That's why I have mentioned that, like, for working. So
there we go. Sorry, I'm here.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about the sound? Is it normalized?
It's absolutely perfect. I went out and started again.
Excellent. Well,
Excellent.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for not instructing you
No,
previously.
I'm a bit chaotic with buttons always. Press everybody's buttons.
Well, that's exactly my duty to ensure that you feel comfortable with that. So that's my bad. Vadim, you have raised your hand.
I just try new options.
I didn't know that it is possible. So how do you do that? How do you raise your hand?
it's here. It's reactions. It's reactions
yes,
where
reactions.
share screen.
I use
yeah.
application. And,
Like you can clap.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I will find it.
I feel like a boomer now. Right.
How it looks like when I raise it?
Like this.
So? See. How I can change background?
Yeah, there's something. Left down corner, you have a video button. Don't click it. Click the arrow near this button.
And then choose virtual background. And you can have something like this.
I think, Andy, you should have installed Say Yes Club background.
Oh, I have yellow eyes. Say Yes Club background. Well, that's very romantic. Very romantic, but I have a chance to act weirdly, and I'm going to use the chance. So it's just, I mean, I'm still thinking about homeless people fighting next time, so that will be my next background. Maybe something more spectacular. So Right. Let's go back to something less
Food.
less questionable. So, about positive things happening during the week. Who would like to?
What happened? I haven't seen. What happened? What are you laughing?
Vadim is being rotated.
Yeah, I'm rotating. Yeah.
Experiment.
Very.
Galileo.
That's fun. Yeah. Nice application. I like it.
You may also, like paint when you share screen. You may paint, write something.
And fix my appearance.
Oh.
Wow.
Right. Okay.
That's
I'll be cosplaying Spider-Man. So, who is next with the week delights?
Oh, I'll go before I disappear. Shall I go quickly? Because I might. Who knows what might happen here?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so my week I quite like this sharing things in quarantine because we're in different countries. And anyway, so I don't know about your country, but in South Africa, we measure things by levels. So we've been on level 5 in quarantine, which means we could do absolutely nothing. We could walk to the shops to buy food, which I suppose is something, but no alcohol, which is everyone's brewing their own at the moment. My daughters are making a sort of pineapple cider and cigarettes as well. So people are hitting the roof. No, we don't know what the reason is. It's sort of the criticism is that it's a bit of a control situation. So we're now on level 4. So level 4 means it's a little bit better than level 5. There are fewer deaths, there are fewer cases. So level 4 was announced on May the 1st. And so everyone is up in arms because we all expected smoking to be allowed, no cigarettes. So everyone's, which of course in like prohibition days, there's a huge black market selling cigarettes for fortunes. And anyway, the good news is, you wanted good news. The good news is that we all allowed to walk our dogs and to go for a walk or a cycle, exercise, from 6 in the morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., which has also caused a little bit of a furore because we say, okay, why do we all have to go out together between 6 and 9 or go out and get the virus? Surely it should be spaced out. So we've got now one of our top businessmen who's taking the president to court on Friday about the cigarettes. He happens to own the British cigarette company or something. But because what happened was the president did announce we could have cigarettes on his announcement. Then it was changed the next day. The rumor goes and the petition goes that one of our ministers is getting money from the informal, the illegal tobacco selling people. But all these shops apparently ordered cigarettes to be ready for the cigarette selling thing, and then it was cancelled. So everyone, even the anti-smokers, are all for smoking now because it represents freedom. I mean, we've got everyone in withdrawal. Anyway, so that's the story of us. Anyway, very happy people. I went out this morning. It's autumn now, so it's very dark. The sun only rises after 7 a.m. So that means we can only, walking starts with the dogs from 7 to 9. And everyone's out with their dogs, very happy. So that there is a spirit in the street.
And
that's my news.
I thought the good news was that the whole country united against the government in this fight for the cigarettes.
That's on my mind, obviously. Actually, I don't even smoke, but I'm so for all the smokers all of a sudden. Well, my daughter smoked, but I mean, all this going on in this, they tell you not to do something and you certainly do it, want to do things. It's rebellion. Everyone, you can get cigarettes, but at a vast expense. Okay, that's my news. But the happy news is the walking in the morning.
About the cigarettes, that reminds me of our army case that it's the second cigarettes-connected rebellion that I've had in my life. I mean, I've heard of. The first one was... Alice is changing places. So So the thing was that every time after we were going from our lunch in the army, one group of people, half of us, half of people who were smoking, they could stay in the street and smoke. The second half had to go back to the barrack and clean the place, swipe the floor and prepare everything for the sleeping hour. And so we, with my friend, we didn't smoke, and after a couple of weeks we were like, what the hell, why the non-smokers were suffering, why we didn't have the pleasure, and we also had to do the work. And so we approached our grandfathers, as we call them in Russia, like the soldiers that had spent more time before us, like 1 year more, half year more, those who usually haze other people. So, and we approached them and we said, like, well, that's no way to do business, and like we demand that the smokers also do their share of chores. And it was passed. I mean, the parliament worked properly, and we kind of, our local parliament, and the smokers after that time were obliged to swipe the floor or clean the place too, because and they were actually very unhappy about it because they were like. They were thinking that they would escape this obligation, but the democracy decided against that. So yeah. Also, look, I mean, I'm breaking the law of gravity. I mean, this is like water, and it should spill. It should spill down, but apparently
Let me break the gravity as well.
Yeah, and it's like Australia. Yes. Well, what a show.
Asking whether it was only me seeing you upside down. I'm happy everyone else is looking at you upside down. I could have done something else with the buttons.
Yeah, and so to spill the water, I'll have to do like this, and I'm now a bit wet, but that's definitely it's really cool.
Breaking the great rules.
Yeah, so it's exciting. Who next about good news? Thank you, Caroline.
Pleasure.
Maybe it's a good news. I don't know. Nothing special happened in my week, but the only news that I think is good is that the embassy of Brazil, told me by email that they are very hopeful to find some flights to Brazil in this month. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy about it.
Yeah. Are you going to leave us?
Nope. In September I need to come back here to start my third year. So but it's because I miss my mom so much, so that's why I want to come back there to see my friends, my family, and yep.
Yeah, it's great news.
Yeah, that's great news, George.
Family reunion. Yeah.
Yes.
But George, it means that, I mean, with the help of online platforms, we can actually still stay in touch anytime, and that's partly why I think this format of online club meetings shall persist, because that means that wherever we are, that is still a club, and that was the point to create it. Because I think, Caroline, you remember when I was living in Africa, there was such a kind of heartbreaking scene with the students that they were kind of really disappointed that I had to go, and I was like, I didn't even.
They were devastated when Andy left, and I remember they were so sad. I think also they were refugees. Don't forget, so that departure was a big thing in their lives.
Yes.
You know, departures. So it did represent forever. And they were so sad. And I was the one that had to look after the class when Andy left. It wasn't fun because they were all in mourning for him, and they were so sweet. They always were worried that I'd feel a little bit unpopular, so they'd always come in and be nice to me. But they were really sad when you left. They were really quite devastated.
And that's actually, I mean, that was pretty tough thing to do because, as you said, they were refugees, so people with shattered lives, and you don't just say goodbye to them because it's not people from well-established society, and you have to respect that. And and I had no other choice. So, and the most tragic thing that I couldn't even offer anything in exchange, like as a mild replacement. And I was thinking a lot about that. Like I could, for example, I could have said that I had a channel on YouTube, but I didn't. I could have said that I could teach them online, but I couldn't. Well, apparently now I can. Now I can, and actually, you saw Bill here. There was also Batato,
Yes.
but you didn't teach him.
Yes, Batata.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
you
know
met him
Batata.
here, yeah. So, and that's kind of a remedy. Maybe not the best one, but at least something to compensate. Yeah. So, and Joshi, congratulations on the good news. Hope you can make it soon.
Yeah.
And I was called the typical Australian teacher on the chat with this rotation thing.
Yeah.
Right. Who is next?
Well, my good news is that I'm redecorating my room,
Oh.
and I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, the wall behind me is still ugly, but the other wall is all pretty with new wallpapers, and it's so nice to look at it.
Yeah.
The wall behind you is concrete.
No, it's not concrete. It's concrete with the paint on it.
Paint white or gray? I
There's a
can't.
big difference.
Yes. Well, I took off my old wallpaper, and now I'm slowly take on new one.
But why wallpaper? I mean, you have this dream situation that I don't have, because I would love to have graffiti on the wall, and you know, I'm really like struggling. I want to tear this down, this freaking shit down, because this is just. I feel like I'm like from the previous century, which is kind of stylish, but that's awful. I want to have graffitis. I want to have no chandelier. I want to have kind of torches light and Christmas lights all over the place. And so I envy you. You have a perfect wall for graffiti.
What is
for
stopping you?
just
What is stopping you?
I don't
Yes,
think my relatives would appreciate that if I did that. So
How about moss on the wall?
About
nature
moss,
moss.
I'm not a druid.
And mushrooms.
You know, one of my acquaintances called me a necromancer druid. That's why it's quite a different thing. So I'd like to have moss, but it should be something specific, maybe a kind of graffiti moss, yeah, and some anarchy sign, and yeah. So I envy that.
No, actually, talking about graffiti, I often I notice a strange gibberish inscription on the walls. Doesn't make sense to me. Can you decipher it? Gibberish, I mean, it
I
might
see.
be written in English, but doesn't make sense. Absolutely doesn't make sense. Maybe
That's the point. It shouldn't.
shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I mean, of course it should, but I mean, you don't have to care about that. Somebody, it's actually kind of basic graffiti. It's like kind of like that's my name, but who cares? It's graffiti is
Sounds
about
like
pictures.
образ какой-то. So, some way. It's actually maybe it's a special language between
It
parrots.
is. But I'm talking about graffiti, which is kind of graphical. I mean, it's like pictures, paintings. It's masterpieces. It's just probably the best decoration pattern I can imagine. If I have an English school, I'll definitely cover everything in graffiti only. Well, I'll have maybe one classical classroom just for sake of nostalgic feelings, but definitely everything else should be something quite anarchic. So, but Eugenia, what's your plan? What kind of wallpapers? What kind of style is it is intended?
This kind.
Well, this is
From white to white.
It's beige.
it's beige. Okay.
Like beige.
Probably the
Quite
light
motley.
doesn't plunge us into this beige experience.
Any accessories? Any decorations? I mean, except apart from the wallpapers, some paintings or Like,
Plants,
I mean,
a lot of plants.
a lot of plants.
I'm plants maniac, so
Well, and how executable are they? Can you fulfill them? Are they realistic?
quite, but I don't have them in my room right now, so I cannot show you. But maybe next time.
You don't have plants in your room.
Yeah, because of all of this decoration, I moved them to another room.
Plants.
Let me show
Plant-
all my plants.
Plants or plants?
Plants.
Oh, I see. I was talking about plants. And
Well, that's nice.
and,
too,
and
actually.
this is
About the plant.
a surreal conversation. Like, do you have plants? Yes, I do have a lot, but they're in a different room.
Actually, I thought that Andy, yes, he asked about plans for the wall, but you answered about that you will like have drawn painted plans on your wall.
Ah.
That's.
Oh my
Plans.
Kind of misunderstanding.
I'm not sure I still understand everything that
Like
Either.
was
Andy asked
expressed.
about plans for the wall, and Evgenia answered that she would have painted plants on her wall.
And they're in a different room. So who is in a different room is a painter who is locked. Like
Oh my god, you know my secret and you stream it.
yes. Sure. So lockdown is lockdown for everyone, right? So
Yeah. He should be happy that I feed him.
well, I think painters could be quite comfortable with lockdown because they have so many internal worlds to explore. I definitely have if you have a laptop. So wish you luck with your what was that? A project, I should say, with your project.
Thank you.
And well, somebody has disconnected. That's Vadim, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why has that happened?
Can I come up with my week?
Sure, please.
Last week was like good, pretty good. I have been working, I have been giving lessons. Like the good news is that I have found the approach to two of my students who are really strongly. I don't know how to say even. They never let me. They never let me work with them. Maybe they don't want to learn English or something like that. But
Probably
I
yes.
have found. I don't know. When I talk to their parents and when I give them the beautiful like prospections, like that you will have this and this if you learn and if you know, like if you will meet people, you will do whatever you want, you will travel wherever you want, and they are like they are sitting there surprised and but when we work with them, they have probably some problems with these are sick. I don't know.
Concentration.
These are children. They are very small. Like one of them is 7, and another one is 9. Yeah, probably 9. But this week, that there is a really great news for me because I have found the approach to them. I have found the way to motivate them. Because after that, their parents wrote me like they gave me the. Oh my god, I forgot the word. I forgot the word. Help me. Help me.
Magical kick,
Review,
impetus,
recommend.
feedback.
Help
Feedback.
me with that. They gave me the.
Feedback, I think. It should be feedback.
They wrote me, they called me and told that, Anastasia, thank you so much. Like you helped me.
Compliments.
No, there is another word, like give me
Amends.
that.
Review.
Recommend.
I think
Review.
Review.
Like a
Review.
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 They gave me the review. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. I have a lot of thoughts in my head that I want to talk about, so that sometimes I just forget the easy ones.
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's not
I
only
know.
about me,
Always
or
happens.
you have the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
same.
The same
really
problem.
stupid sometimes.
The other day
So this is
I've
the
been
good
talking with
news
American woman
for
and forget the
me.
word get.
Like, I have been working with them for so long, not knowing help me, but
Have you tried to talk with your students, not to their parents, but with
sorry, I
the
have a
students?
really bad connection, so sometimes I lose you. I lose you.
Yes,
Yeah.
me also. I'm
Mm.
finding the same
Ask
thing.
the question again, please.
Nastya,
Have you?
just a second. So, Nastya, could you try, first of all, check that no other applications are working, like
I
torrents
have
or
a
anything
really
like that?
bad connection. I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, and if it doesn't help, turn off the video, and this should help.
Ooh, okay, I will try.
So, has it become better?
Okay.
No, I mean, turn off and leave it be like that, without
It
video.
seems yes, it seems it did. It seems it did. Yeah, so I think now it's better. There was a question about, can I talk to not children but to their parents?
No. I asked, like, have you tried to talk with children first? About
Of course,
why
of
are
course.
they
I
like?
have tried a lot of things. I have tried a lot of why they are like that. They are just children. They are like, they always want to play. They don't see them, like, they don't see the English effective. They don't need it. First, I thought like that. But then it turned out that I should just motivate them. I should just give them the like the perfect picture for their lives. Like, I needed to give them all they wanted, and they wanted just spend all lessons talking about cartoons.
Hello?
Nastya, try going without
Very
video. Just turn off the video, leave only the voice. I think this should help.
You cannot hear me.
Yeah, because your video is taking the traffic, and so your voice is also faulting. So that's why maybe let's go for some time, because there is big packet loss. And yeah, let's try just
Okay.
voice. I mean,
Okay.
that's the best solution. So you were saying that you can talk to children about other topics which they prefer, and that's where the problem began. So I mean, the sound problem.
Yeah. Yeah, like, we had the first thing we should like do at school, like the way we teach English, is that is talking, that is speaking skills, and we start speaking from the first lesson. And as it turned out, I had been doing wrong. Like, I didn't understand the main thing, that I should find like the things that attract children, that can catch their attention. And this week it worked. So I'm really delightful, because that's everything I have been thinking about for the last month or two. So it
Yeah.
is. That's it.
Congratulations. I think it's a really satisfying thing when you finally
Yes.
found the approach. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's very interesting when you realize that you are the one who they need. Like, you are the one who they want. You are the one who they want to share their news with, or something like that. Wow, I thought that really I was like super woman. Yes.
Great.
They are
Congratulations.
the, and you are the one from whom they won't see likes on your wall.
Like I don't know what's going on. Maybe it is my only problem because I always have this writing like this is the bad internet connection. I don't know. Is it only my problem or you have the same?
Probably all
yours.
your I probably all your neighbors are sitting in the internet, surfing the internet. So
I have only one neighbor who is able to be seen in the internet.
so say it to him, teach him.
And I
not to
cannot
use
stop him because it's my brother. It's my brother. He's deep in games. He's
Oh,
deep
don't touch
Why?
him. Don't touch him, please. Don't touch
touch him,
him.
yeah.
Don't touch the games. Games have nothing to do with the
Yeah.
internet. Like, please don't spread
Yeah.
this
Are you
misinformation.
sure?
Yes,
Very
yes, please. That's not
Talk
correct.
to him.
Yes, games consume like little traffic. They might need some traffic to download the update, which is usually like 1-2 minutes, but that's it. They just need to maintain small kind of connection thing, which is enough to be using like a dial-up internet. And so please don't touch children. They have done nothing wrong with their games. And yeah, so I have to defend so many children while teaching, because like their parents like, oh, my child is using the internet because he is playing a game and I'm going to tell him to stop, and I'm like, no, please don't, because my parents also were like, somebody told me that the internet is consumed so much because of the games or because of that, you're going to put a virus on my computer because of this flash drive. And I'm like, no, who told you that? Well, my friend. Who is your friend? An IT specialist? No, she's an accountant. Well, why would she know anything about that? And like,
because she counts the internet.
I mean, they just and there were journals like okay. Nice to disappear. That's too bad. So and that's just pretty. Children lose trust because children grow up and they discover that actually the internet doesn't consume so much traffic, and then they lose their like confidence that their parents actually know something about their life, and we have this kind of pitch of mistrust with parents for several years until children finally figure out that parents actually shouldn't have known everything in the first place and they shouldn't be too hard on them. But time is lost. 5 years of 7 years of mistrust.
Left you because something really went wrong, and all the voices started to mix just all together, and that was a disaster. I've decided to leave you for a moment, and now I'm here. Sorry.
Welcome back.
Like, are you talking about games now? Because
No.
I have never thought that games like the little traffic. This is not true, I think.
It
Are
is
you
true.
serious?
Yeah,
It
it's
is. Please,
Yeah.
please believe me. Just, I mean, if you don't believe me, just download the special.
Believe me.
Believe Georgi, or download a special monitoring program for traffic and just run experiments. I mean, don't take somebody's word for that. Like, it's not that people can tell you if they haven't checked. You should see yourself. If you don't trust us, just there are a lot of monitoring programs, and you can see that traffic consumed on games is very little comparing to even, I don't know, like a Mail.ru
Download
site.
things.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's like you download one Mail.ru site or Contact or something else, and you'll consume much more because they're so heavy now. And yeah, so just believe us and don't spoil your relationship with your brother.
Every time when my brother comes to me and says like, Nastya, stop sitting at the computer, stop using the internet because you don't let me like play your programs are so heavy, stop doing it. And I like say, oh, that's not about me, that's your problem. Like, internet is good and it's enough for me.
Well, well, okay, this is diplomacy. Right. Let me just drop, Vadim, the password for our conversation. I will finish my thought. Why can't?
How old is your brother?
Oh, he's 18. He's 18.
Oh. I don't think there should be any trust problems.
So, and what is the biggest traffic consuming thing, I wonder?
Torrents. If you download torrents, they don't. If you don't limit them manually, they will eat out all your traffic. Also, Steam updates, because Steam updates use the same technology. Also, if you upload something on YouTube or on Vkontakte, it will also consume all your traffic without any limitation. So, for example, if you upload a video on Vkontakte, you won't be able to do anything else. Like all internet will be just shut down, because uploading is a very heavy process. And well, maybe you know some examples, but that's the most illustrative cases I know. And about diplomacy, so I think there should be something better about that. Like if, come on, nice to disappear. But Vadim appeared.
It looks like it can be or Vadim or Nastya.
Yeah,
but together.
This world is too small for them both.
Because Vadim eats Nastya's traffic and Nastya eats Vadim.
So they're brothers and sisters. Okay.
Finally, I had the problem. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for all that stuff.
Just don't turn off your video for now, or don't turn on your video for now until something normalizes. So I want to say this, like if there is a diplomacy problem, like you have a trouble with your brother and he has a trouble with you, I think the most logical thing is just to change your tariff. Because I mean, you will probably never find a compromise this way, just blaming each other for the traffic usage. So you probably just need to double the amount of megabytes you have from your provider, or change the provider completely. It's like, well, if you have a fight over a TV, well, buy a fucking second TV. Like, that's it. I mean, it's not expensive at all. Like, you will spend much more on therapy, psychotherapists, and sedation pills later. That will just destroy your nervous system. I don't get why this simple rule is not working with families or with business, because I was looking at my family when they were like, you know, there is a family party and everyone just goes absolutely irritated and crazy, and they fight and they argue and they lose their mood completely by the evening time. And then the first question is like, why the hell can't you just order pizza from the shop? There is delivery. Like if you hate cleaning the flat and cooking the dishes, what prevents you from not doing that? Like you're free adult people in a democratic country in capitalism. Make somebody do your work. Pay for that. That's it. And so usually solutions are very simple. So
yeah, and you're right. But I thought like this is kind of a part of every person, that you like postpone everything until it goes really, really wrong, and until it goes like spoiling everything you have and everything you did, everything you do. Like when I work, if I have a really bad problem with it and my computer doesn't let me work, my internet doesn't let me work, so then I think I will think about it. I don't, and I think we have in every person there is this part of character. There is feature of character, or not in everyone, and I'm just lazy.
There is another solution from the chat. So Light writes, apart from agreeing with you about children, that it's very tough to work with them and explain to them that they need English, he also says that that you can take scissors and cut your neighbor's cable, and that will free up a lot of traffic for you. Like
I think that's a good idea.
Sure. So who cares about neighbors? To hell with them. Like go and cut the internet. All doorway. All just.
Cut them off.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, they will never know who did that.
Exactly.
Well, except that we have like 20 witnesses, but that's fine. Nobody understands Russian, English in this country. So
Helen, it's kind of strange to hear that from you. It's kind of fun.
Karen is a good friend. She's a good friend. That's why. So.
Okay.
She's very positive and so cute and kind.
And there's this other side that I've just let out.
So, well, Nastya, congratulations on winning the students. It's actually, I can imagine how difficult it is to find finally this magical key to someone. That was a high five, I guess. Well, let me join the flash
I will
mob.
give it too. Oh, you cannot see me. Oh yeah, you can see.
But I can see the.
Your reaction.
So who's left? Who's left? Who wants to continue?
Maybe I can continue.
Okay.
This week I spent a couple of hours surfing the internet and trying to find a good sleeping mask. So, and you know, it's a brave new world of a sleeping mask for me because there are a lot of variations of this sleeping mask. There are a lot of materials. It turns out that there are a lot of materials for sleeping mask. There are a lot of types of sleeping mask, and some sleeping masks have, like, you know, gel pads inside it. Other has some deepenings for your eyelashes, so you can put it on and you don't spoil your makeup. So it's a very interesting thing. And I found out that there are electronic sleeping masks.
What?
Like gadgets, yeah. And it's very interesting because one of them just warm your eyes. I don't know why do somebody need to warm their eyes, but it seems that it works and they maybe fall asleep quickly. And I found out one very interesting sleeping mask which allows you to manage your dreams. Can you imagine? It sounds like a plot for the Black Mirror TV series.
Yeah, sounds like that.
Yeah, but it actually allows you to be kind of aware and to manage your dreams and to remember your dreams better. And it's kind of creepy, I think.
I think these masks are just like an advertising step, because it is known that you can manage your dreams without any mask.
It sounds like a good marketing, yeah. Yeah, it
Does
sounds
this
like
mask contain some substances?
Yes, I was going to ask that.
yeah, it has some
Psychedelic.
Columbia.
yeah.
A mushroom.
Mushroom.
Yeah, it contains LEDs, lights inside it, and they red LED lights, and when you put it on you fall asleep, and after 2 hours of your sleep the lights start blinking, and it affects on some parts of your brain, and these parts of your brain turn on, and you will be and you will be aware in some sense, and that's why you can remember your dreams and even manage your dreams. I don't know.
Well,
You
that's
know,
wonderful.
it resembles
That sounds
advertisement.
Yeah, it sounds like
from
yeah.
90s. How to
Yeah.
organize distant message of brain. You know, actually.
Yeah. So I don't know if it really works, but it was a really interesting experience to find these creepy things about sleeping masks. So, but actually, I bought one. I bought the usual one, sleeping mask.
Can you?
What does it say?
Wake me up when it's New Year.
Is it because coronavirus?
It's because coronavirus. Yeah, that's why I bought it because of it. Yeah. So I hope it will help me to have enough sleep.
Like, don't you have enough sleep? Don't you have enough sleep? Like, why?
No, because couple of years ago, I bought new curtains, but this one roll curtains, with this mechanism, and I made a huge mistake. I didn't buy blackout curtains. So they don't block the lights at all. It's about 70% of blackout, something like this, but they let enough light through. And that's why it's a big problem, especially on summer, because the sun rises at about 5 a.m. and I wake up with the sun, and that's why I don't get enough sleep on summers. And I have two options: to buy a sleeping mask or to buy new curtains. And
this is a good idea.
Yeah, and to buy new curtains means that I have to spend 15,000 rubles. But yeah, it's a lot of a big amount of money. So I decided to start with a little amount of money, and to buy just sleeping mask and to try it. Hope it will help. I really hope. I don't want to spend a lot of money on
Fingers crossed, Masha. We'll cross our fingers for you.
Thank you. So yeah, I think
there is a
it will be.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it won't interrupt my sleep. I think it won't irritate me, because when you wear something on your head, it may irritate. I don't know.
No.
It will my first time then I use a sleeping mask.
It will not. So the main thing is that you're like it shouldn't push on you, put some pressure, and I may see you during the sleep. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I'm calm. Yeah, I think it should work. It should work.
Anyway, probably. So for the first time, like in the beginning, it will be not very comfortable, but with some time you will get used to.
Get used to it. Yeah. Okay, got it.
There is a message on the chat from Shadinium. Blackout curtains are the best. I've had them for 10 years almost.
Yeah.
And I myself I have velvet purple curtains in my bedroom, which are like heavy. I mean, in this flat, everything is heavy. Wallpapers, colors, curtains. My grandmother was definitely...
Georgians?
Oh?
Georgians?
Georgians aren't heavy in this flat because, first of all, there are no Georgians here.
Talking about Georgians, I mean like Georgia, yeah, a country. I have found a website that checks how your family name is unique. So their first variant of my spelling through Y, Nachina, was, so it's not very unique. A lot of people have this family name, but if I spell it through I, using I, so it will be very unique. Only 8 people around the globe have such a family name.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cool, yeah.
About waking up with light, when I wake up and I don't close my curtains because, well, I kind of find it, well, useless. I mean, I don't want to do that. And I wake up and the sun is just shining in front of, at my eyes for several hours usually. And I wake up and I feel like Riddick from that film about Riddick. Like my eyes are burnt out. And I can see in darkness, but I can see nothing in light, and I have to put on glasses, and that feels so cool. I wouldn't give up that sensation at all because it's so enjoyable. I love Riddick. I would love to have the same vision stuff, and maybe someday I will transform. I'll mutate with this sleeping pattern. So, can you move your bed maybe from this direct sunlight, or it's impossible?
No, it's not impossible because the lights let through these curtains to the whole room. I have only one room, and so there is no ways.
In South Africa, we have somebody who developed these glasses, these sunglasses. I'm not quite sure of all the scientific background, but I'm sure you can look it up. and it's their colors, their colors in your brain. So he actually sold them to our rugby team when they traveled around the world. And when you watch a screen, a television screen or maybe computer screen, you're watching, I'm not sure whether it's blue or red, but you're watching one color that doesn't let you sleep properly. And the other color does. So he gave these our rugby players when they traveled these sunglasses that when they watched television before they went to bed, it turned the blue light to red light. Anyway, they all said it worked. I don't know.
Maybe not red, yellow light. I heard about
maybe.
yellow light.
I've got my colors wrong. I'm not quite sure. It was a long time ago. I listened to the interview, but
yeah, I heard that recommendation. So, for example, for your smartphone, you should turn on the light, the brightness of your screen, the yellow to the white. So it will be better for your eyes and for your brain.
Eye comfort.
Eye comfort, yeah. Maybe, yeah. So it will be better for your eyes and for your brain to
yellow light.
Yeah, yellow light.
Oh, right. So that must be the
warm
color.
light. Warm light, not cold one, but warm.
Yes. Okay. So that's anyway. He did. It was proper science and things. I mean, I knew the person who interviewed him, and it was interesting.
Yeah, and it actually has a scientific base on it because there are a lot of investigation about this cold light and warm light and so on and so forth. Maybe it makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you, Masha, for getting the colors right.
Who was launching a spaceship 20 seconds ago?
20 seconds ago?
Yes, somebody was launching a spaceship. I heard the sound of an engine. And like really good sound of an engine. Maybe it was a vacuum cleaner, maybe it was something else. Well, Elon Musk says the chat. Maybe. Or maybe Nastya just went to space because she disappeared. Well, we'll know, I think, soon, if it was her. Well, Vadim, I think you're the only one left who needs to tell us about the week and the positive stuff about it.
This week I focused on changing of nature. Actually, it's the time which I like a lot most because everything is changing. Trees is green and air fresh. Tree is blossoming, and I like the period of time very much. And the color is very vivid and bright, and I feel happy. And I don't know whether it's news or not, but second news actually, I saved my cat from the inevitable death. Actually, these beasts have ability and habits to jump and to catch flies and birds. And the same thing happens with my cat. And he tried to catch flies, which is a lot of appeared a lot of them in my balcony. And one day, one night especially, I saw him. Actually, our balcony has some glazings. Very thin frame with windows, and he managed to jump on the casement. And if I didn't rush to him and didn't catch, he fell. He will fall on the ground, fourth floor. And I think there is maybe we had only 3 or 4 seconds to react, and I did it.
Yeah, great.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, that was lucky.
I felt myself hero.
Well,
you actually are.
Yeah.
That's so. Nothing special happens. But as I said before, the nature is most my the main source of my joy and happiness nowadays. I think it's amazing. The best time of the year, not New Year.
After you.
Yeah.
Actually, New Year, you know, from my point of view, New Year is very boring and dark and gloom period of time.
And you,
Yes, today we don't have any celebration. We just have nature, sun, air, and it's enough for us. But when people lack something, for example, say light, they create garlands because they need light. And New Year, I think, is a example of it. We create artificial joy to complete our need in this gloomy time. But I know that in South Africa it's quite opposite because New Year it's a
Yes, the opposite season, you mean, Medine?
Yep.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
Brazil as well.
but it's,
Yeah, it's
yes.
at the opposite season. Yes, you in spring, which is, everyone is very happy in spring. We've got autumn now,
Awesome.
Ah,
which is, some people call it fall.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Fall,
yes.
yeah.
Literally fall, just from high to the bottom
It's the leaves
of
falling, I
depression.
think. I like the word. I prefer autumn. Autumn's a pretty, and I don't know why I like it.
Neutral.
Yeah, so
neutral.
do I, yeah.
Yeah.
Autumn is perfect.
Yes, fall's a bit depressing. Fall, you know.
Yeah.
fall from-
Yeah.
What's gonna fall?
so
Yes, exactly.
about autumn depression, about spring, his life, everything goes from literature, and actually I think it's types that were created by by the poets and authors, literature authors, because yes, if you like read, for example, Shukshin's stories, it's our Russian author, and yes, like in spring, you feel a new lease of life, but
Just spell that name
By
for me.
creation,
Say that over
Shukshin.
again. Oh.
Nastya,
Shukshin.
you don't have your microphone working. You need to check the sound.
Okay.
Oh, me?
Well,
She has.
can you
I
say
can
something?
hear her.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah.
It was about Nastya. Yeah. Nastya, can you say something?
Oh.
Nastya, I
Okay, it's okay. Well, now it's
It's
okay.
okay, it's okay.
Sorry. Yeah, that's fine.
From
Mhm.
another view, from another corner.
So how do you spell that author, Alicia? That you've
I
just been
think I
speaking
will
of?
write to the chat, like
Shukshin, yeah.
Shukshin.
Right.
it
Okay.
will be more suitable.
While we are
It will be like this.
discussing Shukshin.
Oh yes. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm learning something every day.
Can I just read one message from the chat? So it's about Shedenium also. He said that his phone has reduced blue light emission inbuilt option. His eyes really exhale with relief when he turns it on, but people complain that his screen looks painful to other people. They think it's broken. And I think he is talking about...
Because Samsung.
He is talking about me, the complaining people. I mean, that was me who complained about his screen. So, because I saw his phone and I was like, well, why is it yellow? And I forgot that every Android, I think, now has this yellow option, and I don't really find it
But it
aesthetical.
doesn't work properly, you know what?
I don't know, but I mean, he enjoys that and I don't, and that's why we had kind of a discussion about that. But apparently it's inbuilt in phones.
you know that if you have situation when your eyes are really like tired, they are burning and something like that when you work a lot on the computer or the phone, if you try to turn on the like yellow mode, you will see and you will feel like it's getting better like minute after minute. I don't know, it really works. I thought that wouldn't be, but it did.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. And with phone it works the same. your eyes just need some time to get used to a new kind of light, to new kind of looking, like screen looking, because yes, it is unusual, and it's hard to feel it like it's normal.
You know,
I
actually,
know, like,
excuse
I
me for
get
interruption. You can continue.
I get to it very easily when I'm tired and I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Same.
Yeah, it works in this situation when your eyes need that light, need that kind of help to continue working.
Yeah.
I think the main difference between computer screens and papers, piece of paper, for example, or books, that our eyes that used to operate with reflected light. Everything what we see is a result of reflection. But when we see a computer screen, we observe direct light from the source. We never see, imagine you just see on the lantern or on the sun or
On the
whatever
laser,
which
like
produce.
the
Or
laser.
laser, yes.
A laser.
It's a radical example, but nevertheless it's the same. And our eyes can't manage a long time to endure this process. And because of that, we need another technology. For example, electronic inks. You know, it actually resembles books, but it doesn't emit any light. Just use only reflected light when you turn your lantern, or it's like a usual book. And I heard that Hisense, this producer of smartphones, issued one model of smartphone which based on this technology, and it's not monochromic, it's colorful, and I think it's very promising. But of course, there are some minuses, because screen is not as bright as ordinary LED screen. But nevertheless, it helps if you need to read a lot and to use your browser. I think it's a good solution. Maybe it will help us to read and you know, actually, whatever you use, what kind of filter do you switch on or on? Especially, I can say only for myself, I have this mode on my smartphone, and when screen turn yellow, it doesn't help, and my eyes actually feel some how to say, it's a very strange feeling, irkness maybe, and it doesn't it makes me alert, and but when I read electronic books like a pocketbook, I don't feel any discomfort, and the one side effect of it, if I read it in the evening, sometimes I even fell asleep, because there are no blue light in this technology. Very strange, like an old man go to fall asleep, you know. But if I use my smartphone, it never happens. It never happens.
Like you're going well, like with the ebook, because I think just because the ebook light is not as is softer, much softer than the computer light.
It doesn't produce any light. Actually, you know, actually they use special technology without any light. Without any light, it resembles book, printed book.
Like
text.
Ink.
it's
They use
Yes, exactly,
technology.
electronic inks, yeah.
Electronic
Because
ink, actually.
you can't read this book in the dark when it's getting dark because you need a lamp or something like this to read books.
Yes, but you use,
can't read it.
in this case, you use reflected light, and
Yeah.
it matters. It matters. But when you see just now on the screen, you receive direct lights from the diodes which built in your screen, and it's quite unnatural situation. Because of that, our eyes get tired, and we have some problems with vision because. And it affects our nervous system, and we can't go to sleep in a healthy way because of that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Like
Yeah,
one time, I tried an experiment. So I had a shower, and after this, I do not look into my phone. Like I do not take it into my hands. And yes, I fell asleep much more quicker than if I just lying in a bed, staring at my smartphone for 30 minutes.
Yes,
Yeah.
the main advice from the scientists of sleep: don't use your smartphone at least 1 hour before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
It requires a huge discipline, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it really works. It's amazing thing. And when you try to go out of your comfort zone, like for example, you wake up and you are used to check your social nets, to go to the Instagram, VK, and so on and so on. And when you don't try to do this, you feel much better. Like you just straight go, I don't know, for training, do some sport exercises, or go straight to the shower if you don't take sports.
Makes you happier.
Yep,
Yeah.
sure.
We can make a challenge. 1 hour without smartphone before sleeping.
Yeah.
Chain yourself to radiator.
Yeah.
Yes, you may do a checklist on the 365 done
Yeah.
without rule.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
have
Tracker
it.
of habits, yeah. Tracking habits.
Yeah.
Do you
Yes, and
seriously
there
think
are
that it will
good
help?
certifications.
I mean, what?
Do you seriously think that not using your phone or computer 1 hour before sleeping is actually going to help?
Scientists.
I tried it. I tried it.
Scientists think yes.
Do you
Actually, I
have
established a law in my family: don't use smartphone after 10 o'clock.
do you have sleeping problems without outside this context? I mean, do you have troubles falling asleep even if you do use your phone?
If I do my phone, my sleep is worse. I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I feel how to say, I don't have enough rest at least.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't use smartphone on any screen, TV set included, I feel better, much better.
And is it right? I've heard that you shouldn't sleep with these phones near your head for like microwaves. You know, is that still? I've heard people do say that you shouldn't sleep with your phones near your head.
Yeah, but mainly the light is cause of problem, and at the same time it's solution, because light regulate our circuit rhythm. If I pronounce it correctly in English, it influence our behavior. Actually we evolved without any computers, and the signal for going to sleep was darkness. And if you use smartphone, for our brains it means sunlight. and we confuse our systems. I mean, brain system, mind system of our mind, and because of that, we have much more worse situation with our sleep. And Mhm.
I have read a book about how our brain works. It's very good one. It's like a book full of scientific articles, and an editor, a scientist, explains everything using simple words. And there was written that our brain is a program, and you may program it. For example, you read before you go to bed, and your brain starts to get used to this situation. So you read, and then you go sleeping, and you may read before you go to sleeping. And probably I may agree with Andy from some point of view, because sometimes my telephone mm, makes me go to sleep, and I feel bad. Like, for example, I can't fall asleep for an hour, for 2 hours, and I just decide to check social nets, for example, and I immediately fall asleep. So it's
So you
our
train your brain. Yeah.
program. Yeah, we should maybe just program our brain, and that's all.
I think you are young, and because of that, you have no sleep problem.
Ageism,
Talk about
ageism.
it in the third year.
Well, if I ever watch a film on the computer, the film opens and I close my eyes and go to sleep. It's enough to put me straight to sleep. Never know what it was about in the morning. So I don't know whether I've trained my brain or whether it's something that just happens to me.
Well,
everything about self-control, I think.
Vadim, so this is
Yes,
a very complex thing. So what you are saying is that, like, that human is predisposed to sleep when it is dark, right? Like, it is a signal. So it kind of means that we haven't evolved since the prehistoric times. Like, we used to go to bed, which was not a bed but a pile of leaves in the cave. Yeah, so, and that means that we shouldn't have lost our ability to process raw meat and blood instead of juice, but we definitely have. So like, that means that there are no mutations or evolving parameters of our bodies, or I mean that we haven't lost part of our hair on body, that we, I don't know, like many other things. And I mean, I'm not saying anything yet because I think I don't have enough statistics to claim anything for sure, but I just suspect that, well, like, you cancel any phone conversations after 10 o'clock, right? Well, that will probably influence your social life and your overall productivity, because sometimes you have to be in touch. So then what does it mean? You have to give up your opportunities. And then it will mean more anxiety about lost opportunities.
Sometimes we think that we have opportunity. I thought that several years ago, I thought how much I can do if I do something in the evening. For example, read something type, or maybe do some stuff. But actually, today I understand that the sleep is much more important than this time in the evening, because when you have enough sleep, you can be much more productive and creative. And I checked it on myself, and it does work. Does work. And if you sacrifice some time in your evening, you can get a lot of things in the morning. You will be, actually, our sleep means everything to us. Actually, if you're talking about ancient times, it's quite paradoxical. from the first view, from the first when you examine the habits of our ancestors, a lot of dangers were present in this time, but you need sleep at least 8 or maybe 6, 8, or from 6 to 8
9
hours.
hours.
Please. Why?
9 hours
9
and 40
hours.
minutes
A
about
lot
like
of
this.
predators. Excuse me, what do you say?
It's like the scientists have proved that you should sleep for about 9 hours, 9 hours and 22 minutes, 42 minutes. I don't remember, but
depends of-
9 hours, yes.
It depends of person, but actually sleep it's not absolutely passive time of actually our brain works in this period of time quite differently, but even more actively than when we are conscious and awake. And actually our dreams, it's a result of processing some memories, some stuff. And actually, if you're talking about mental disease, actually almost every disease, mental disease, connected with sleep deprivation. People who suffer something, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, have some problems in sleep. There's a strong connection between it. And research just shows that sleep is much more important than we thought before. And it's actually talking about creativity. I want to add something. If you ask some people who are creative, how she or he does this stuff, I mean, write books, music, and so on and so forth, never, no one can tell you, because it happens as a result of processes in our mind. And we
don't go to
can
Sigmund
take-
Freud for now. Don't, please.
No,
Not yet.
about
Next time,
Sigmund
man.
Freud.
I mean, it's dangerously near subconscious topic and ego, and that's we have to bring
I
Jung.
want to only I want to conclude that we today we don't know a lot of things about our brain activity, about our creativity, and I want to only just to say that sleep is underestimated, especially among young people. And I thought about it the same way several years ago, and today I changed my mind, and I want to advise everybody: sleep well. And actually, another scientific information. If there is a research about our immune reaction, and people who had sleep deprivation the week before they got infected by flu, had 50% antibodies left than healthy, not deprived of sleep people. And it affects our immune system. If you sleep well, the chances of get infected of any infectious disease, coronavirus included, the chances not to be infected increases dramatically if you are sleeping. Sleep well.
Thank you, Amen. I want to read the messages from the chat that Shedinium sent. So, the first one is: most basic important species defining thing haven't changed since 200,000 years when Homo sapiens appeared, although we do become more beautiful quite fast. You could compare average faces of people of 100 years ago and now, and you would find faces of contemporary people on average more beautiful. That's good news for us. And if an average person went to the past of several thousand years ago, they would be considered a person of godlike beauty worth of religious worshipping. So my congratulations, dear pantheon of newly established gods of gun civilizations. So please choose your area of expertise: storm, sea, death and light, and agriculture, family. So, and report to me later. I will assign the roles. So, and we shall rule the world, the earth, maybe the planets forever and ever. There was some Russian video that wanted to play twice. And Eugenia, I think if you reacted to that, I mean, you made quite an interesting face when it happened. If it was about that, then it should be a GIF. On the internet, I mean, like, it was such an indignation, like, what the hell, and it was so polite indignation, like, and I think you need to find this episode when just it was golden, this reaction. So
you have to make your own sticker pack, maybe.
yes,
Gift pack.
for teachers, yeah, reaction sticker pack. Ooh. Sleeping.
If we're talking about sleep, I have recently seen the video on YouTube. There was a girl, she has kind of the disease. She is always sleeping like for 21 hours a day.
Sleeping Beauty syndrome.
60 what?
Oh.
Sleeping
Beauty
syndrome. Mm-hmm.
No, this is the YouTube like that was kind of interview.
Yeah, I mean it is called Sleeping Beauty syndrome. It also has another name, but it exists.
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe. And she can fall asleep wherever she is, and like she is used to it. She's used to falling asleep everywhere, and that's kind of strange when you are like walking or doing something. And she told that every time when she feels like she's going to sleep, she's like falling. She tells everyone who is around her the time now. I'm going to go out. So just look, not go out, like turn out. I'm going to turn out. Just please be around me and help me if I'm just falling. That's so scary when you understand that you are never able to control yourself and control your condition. Like you never know when you will be around, when you will be about to fall. Like,
go out like a light.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it is a day or it is night. If there is a lot of light or there isn't. Like it doesn't matter. She's just like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is about sleep. I had a question.
That's an extreme version.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also had a question. Like I came out with this question like maybe 20 minutes ago or like half an hour ago when we talked about the light and a light during sleeping, and I thought about like does everyone have dreams? Because I don't.
I don't too. I don't. Maybe I have sleeps, but I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
So that's why that gadget that I described seems very interesting for me because it helps. Yeah, it's useful.
Everybody has dreams. Everybody has dreams, but not all remember them. It's a scientific fact.
I heard that fact.
Yeah.
That's
I
strange.
don't
What can
remember.
we do? What can we do to remember that?
To remember just better. I tried it. I really tried. I had a goal to remember my dreams better, and I really I sound robotic.
Yes.
People say, okay. I have reconnected to mobile data.
Data?
Yeah, so
think
probably it wasn't
that-
the best idea.
I think I will reconnect to Wi-Fi again and to join.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. About remembering dreams, I heard that some people, or sometimes when we just wake up, we can remember some pieces of our dreams, but after, for example, 10 minutes later, after our wake up, we cannot remember it at all. And one of the solution was, as soon as you wake up, you have to write down everything that you can remember, and maybe it will help. But I didn't try it. I haven't
well,
tried.
The
Well,
thing
Maria,
is
you're
that
very sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, mine is just. I just want to say, at least you don't have nightmares, because I've learned when you have a nightmare, it's such a terrible thing. I mean, there's horrible nightmares where you're running and somebody's chasing you and you can't move forward. And anyway, I've learned how to deal with nightmares, because when I wake up and that feeling, oh, I'm so happy it wasn't true. I suppose it was true. Is it true or not true? It's just in another state. But I wake up now, and when I have those nightmares, I wake up and I now close my eyes and I actually work out my own ending. So every dream has it's all happy, because you just put your head down, close your eyes, and choose your own ending.
Yeah. You know, last month I woke up because of something scary happened to me in my dreams, and I actually don't remember anything about what was happening while I was sleeping, what was happening in my dreams. But I woke up and I feel scary. I just remember these feelings of something really, really scary, and my heart was beating very, very fast. But I don't remember this dream. I just woke up in a huge scary. Yeah.
Maybe it was lucky that you didn't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
But
you know that some people say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had
Nastya, go on.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Thank you. Some people say that to have good sleeps, you should know some kind of affirmation. So if you know what it is, this is like the magical words, I can say, which can help you to think positively. And some psychologists say that to have good dreams, you should, before going to bed, you should read out loud, read these affirmations out loud for yourself. It's kind of like, I remember all dreams, I have a good dreams, something like that. And I don't know, I don't really believe it helps.
Oh, good, thank you.
Because you have something in your brain that and you don't really you don't really realize that before. You are not able to realize what you are seeing, why you are seeing these dreams, why you're having them, because this is kind of the part of our brain that we don't understand, that we are not able to
control.
Yeah, to control.
Subconsciousness.
Yeah.
There are two parts, three: subconsciousness, unconsciousness, and consciousness.
So you want to talk about Sigmund Freud?
Forgot intestines.
This is something we go closer to. So.
Yes, but I remember the times when I was sleeping and I just suddenly felt that I'm falling down, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yes.
That's classic. It's because when you are starting to sleep, all your muscles need to be relaxed, not be too tensed. So in this process, you feel that you are falling somewhere, but actually you aren't. It's just your muscles trying to be relaxed, because you need to be all your muscles, at least of your leg, need to be relaxed for fall asleep completely.
Oh, really?
And you know what?
Connection, between muscles and conscious.
Had that kind of dream, but it was it wasn't like that. It was different. When I was small, I had dreams that something going down above me, and it's going to press me, and I had this kind of dreams, but not as like I'm falling down. And that was the dream I was always afraid of. And going to bed, I asked my mother a couple of times to sit with me, like, stay, I'm afraid of this huge thing. It was like the figure in the air, and it was going to like roll me. I don't know. That was very scary. Everyone told me like, I'm dreaming like I'm falling down, and I was like, oh, I'm dreaming the time becoming the ground.
Yes, it's like imagination. I remember when I was a teenager, I don't remember the exact age, but I went with my father for fishing in a tent. And when I was falling asleep, I couldn't fall asleep as always, because there were trees, shadows of them on the tent. And I imagined that they become giants. This is like kids' imagination. And when I had a table in my room, I had a chair, and on this chair there were some clothes, like my domestic clothes. And every time I fell asleep, especially when I was 10 or 9 years old and my father could watch scary movies, I imagined like this chair can transform into some creature.
I have a question to Eugenia. This red light is red actually, or is just that I see it red?
I have no idea why it's red on the screen, because no, it's just normal light.
But I mean, it is stylish as hell. I mean, as hell like hell. I mean, it's super cool, I should say. I mean, awesome.
Yeah.
So
club vibes.
Exactly.
Only
Is it
club
different
vibe.
in real life?
Yes, it's just like a regular.
It's gorgeous. It looks lovely. Everything's got this lovely.
Yeah.
Maybe Zoom have some filters.
Yes.
In camera, we always look different.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter
that's true.
what the light is, where you are, and this stuff.
About nightmares, about dreams. Actually, I like having nightmares. They make me feel alive, and I think dreams generally give this chance to understand something you don't understand, and with which is again about kind of subconsciousness and Sigmund Freud. But I mean, this is kind of makes sense because, well, there is this kind of concept that Mendeleev, who was a prominent Russian scientist who invented this, who discovered this table of elements, that he dreamt about that. But of course it's not true. He didn't dream of it. He had been working so hard that the final piece just came to him at night, and he could decipher it at night as a whole image, which he then brought to life during the daylight. But I mean, this is just so astonishing that while you're sleeping, you actually can discover something new. It's also kind of Castaneda's vibe that, well, the first two books of Castaneda are kind of too inclined towards this opiates and peyote thing, like drug effect, which is not necessarily the case. I think the message is that our mind contains a lot of hidden secrets which can be let out using some extra input or some special stress or influence, and sleeping sometimes could become this influence. And I miss that. I mean, when it doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen often, I really miss it, because I feel kind of, well, maybe it's just my overall condition that I kind of have lost the ability to feel emotion strongly. I cannot really rejoice. I cannot really feel happy normally, and it's very hard for me to be happy, like to kind of have this jump of hormones, and that is pretty sad. But with dreams, I kind of feel this sharp strike of sensations, and I'm really glad about that. I wouldn't like to give it up, because it kind of makes me feel alive, feel human, which is not often the case. And so yeah, I would like to have nightmares as often as possible.
How about pleasant ones?
No, they're delusional. They trick me. I used to have such dreams when you have a conflict with a person, then in a dream you are back to a normal relationship, and then you wake up and you are back at the broken plate, at the broken dish, and that's actually much worse than any possible dream, any possible reality. So I wouldn't like to have this.
Positive dreams are delusional?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, if you're talking about kind of like blissful stuff like that, show your perfect world, then no, not really. If you're talking about just interesting, adventurous, exploration stuff, then yes, of course. I remember when I was a child, I would strangely start every my dream with flying from my bed to the mirror standing on the table, and that mirror was a door to the cosmos thing. So the mirror was round shaped, and so as I was flying close to the mirror, I saw the stars blinking, and then I flew in, and the dream began, and that would happen several times. So, and that was only when I was a child. And I would say like every place has kind of special pattern of dreams, which is of course understandable, justifiable, because we dream about what we see in life, right? So yeah, but that was cool. That was super cool. I don't know why it happened, but something, as probably Vernadsky would say, something about noosphere and channeling somebody else's thoughts. I don't know, but that's already something about esoterics. So
now I thought when we were talking about the phenomenon when we of not remembering the dreams, I thought that maybe this is something that our subconscious wants to hide from us. Like if you don't remember it, that this is better for you not to remember that. But if so, that's why people sometimes don't remember anything. Like they don't remember at all. Like they felt they went to bed, they were hoping to see some dreams, but they fell asleep, they woke up, and they understand they were like in the black hole because there was nothing.
It's psychological stuff, because our mind tries to hide some miserable memories. So in order us not to be sad, not to cry, not to plunge into depression again.
I'll explain. So what I wanted to say with this nightmare dreaming, that of course some memories you wouldn't like to keep, but sometimes I think that we have too many restraints and limitations. Like I see myself now as a like a shaped picture, right? Like this rectangular thing. And this is my life. Like I have some kind of borders, and I can't think out of my borders or think out of the box, which has this business term, business phrase. So. And this is super hard. It's just almost impossible to make yourself, like, to pull yourself out of this box. And because we are so railed, we are so we are so gravitating towards our typical pattern of thinking. And that's why when you are sleeping, actually, you have a chance to kind of burst out, break the wall, shatter it into pieces, get something new, bring it back, and wake up with it. And that's what, for example, some excessive amount of alcohol could do, or some just unexpected meeting with a person, or just a strange unplanned walk in the forest, or a trip to a new country, or just a trip, if you know what I mean. And so like that's very interesting, and that's what I'm talking about. That this is the value of dreaming, that you might actually go how to say, to the outlands, like outlandish stuff, outworld experience. I mean, outworld, I mean in your world and some outer world, which you can't usually reach with your possibilities, with your capabilities.
It can go out of our consciousness.
Yes. And yes, light, it is New Year lights on the background. I love lights, and that's why I found quite insulting what Vadim was saying about New Year. But I think Vadim, I mean, I'm joking, of course. Don't. I think we've known each other for too long to get insulted. So, yeah. Sure. I mean, I would find it strange if you really found it totally meaningless, because you know that I'm sure that you still find some pleasure in that.
Andrew, it quite indicates that you follow the rules of social isolation. Because if you don't, you just turn off the lights because you don't need it. Because you was satisfied by sun today. Because actually. You live in darkness. I mean, not in literally, but physically. I mean, you.
Correct. Don't continue. That's obscurity. Yeah.
I mean, you not often go out in your flat, right?
Right.
You're right. And you need artificial addition to your life, I mean, garlands and so on.
Vadim, are you psychotherapist?
No.
Because it sounds like a session.
No, psychotherapists say that you live in dark. Quite, it's wrong. It's not a patient, this phrase. But I mean another thing. And the less light we have, the more artificial stuff we bring to our life. Garlands, some candles, lamps, and so on.
Oh, you make me ponder too much, with such speculation.
I think you need to go at least to your balcony if you have one, and look more at sun, horizon.
Sun burns my eyes out. I don't like looking at it.
You need sunglasses.
This is lame.
Yellow ones, we've decided. Yellow ones.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, the yellow light.
Georges, do you have dreams? How often?
Not so often, but I want to add only that I think we only remember our dreams if they are meaningful to us. Because, for example, I'm sure today it happened, actually. My mom dreamed that I was coming back to Brazil with a large backpack, and I was hugging her, and she dreamed about it today. And I hope that she will not forget about this dream like for 3 weeks. I think she will remember every day. If I ask, I don't know, after 5 days, my mom, do you remember that dream that you told me about? And she'll say, of course I remember, because this was meaningful for my mom. And I think that we just don't remember all of our dreams because they are like a lot of random things happened in your dream, and you're like, oh, okay, I will not get it, everything that happened, that's why I will forget. But if something meaningful happens, so maybe, or not maybe, I'm sure that you remember.
And
yeah, I agree.
Eugenia, you also quite made a reaction face when you heard about that no dreams thing. So do you have dreams?
Yeah, lots. I love having them. like today's night, I was somewhere in jungles, and we were finding treasures with my friends.
We were successful.
Yeah, a lot of gold and
Aztec, Inca,
El Dorado.
Atlantis.
Just treasures. I don't know.
Oh, come on, treasures are different. Was it something jewelry or archive?
Yeah, it was like in computer games. There's a lot of gold and some stones, emeralds, rubies, something like that.
Had you played some computer games or maybe read some books before you go to sleep yesterday?
No, actually, that's that's why it's weird. But it's normal for me. I sometimes see this like cool adventurous dreams, and I like that.
It sounds like you have a second life, you know?
Oh, I have a lot of second life.
Something that you dream about. Something that you dream about. Like,
No, so I have never dreamt about I remember the dream when I was in this attraction in the amusement park when you move. It's a big. I don't remember what it is called in English. So you just sit here and move around, and in one moment in my dream I was in such attraction, and I suddenly appeared in the bus, in the public bus.
Ah.
How it works.
It was a nightmare.
It wasn't a nightmare. It was just a strange dream.
Yeah, a lot of random things happened.
I should also say that there are colorful dreams. You know, some people distinguish between black and white dreams and colored dreams, and I have slightly different things. So all my dreams are kind of pale or blurry, or at least they're not colorful in the full sense, because I've had 2 colorful dreams in my life. Like exactly colorful, I mean kind of ultra HD thing that you see something so clearly that it feels like life, or it just kind of burns into your mind. It kind of just stays there, it imprints. And one of that was strangely, not being a religious person, but one of them was a church that is in Surikova Mira Street, that I think it's Blagoveshchenskaya or something like that, and it used to be then of red and green color with golden domes. And I was looking at that church, and there was a blossoming apple tree and several blossoming apple trees, and the street was quite empty, I think, but my focus was, I was looking at the church and the trees and the blue sky, and that was just so memorable. And it was, I think, 15 years ago, and I still remember the image. The second colorful dream was quite recently, I think half a year ago. It was me in a house near the ocean. So this, coastal house, which is usually kind of not a villa, but this one level house with French windows, which are French windows, which are also doors or whatever you make them. So this kind of Hawaiian vibe. But it wasn't about relaxation. It feels like it was somewhere, near Australia, like where we have those coral reefs and those big stony arches that are kind of doors to some, you can see through them. And there were several standing in front of me, and the sea, the ocean was producing noise, was just a little bit, anxious, let's use this word. So, and I saw those stone pillars and one arch, and I was looking at that, and the sky was also blue, and so it was a kind of marine landscape, this ocean landscape, and then it moved. It was followed up with some strange kind of pandemonium of, can you imagine, maritime race, where people were racing on boats, on ships, on some gadgets, on some magically driven devices, and that was kind of a like sea race, a regatta, but that was kind of a regular, strange, nonsensical dream. But before that, there was this beautiful landscape, and I kind of failed to interpret that. I mean, what does my mind want to say? Probably nothing special, but just it was pretty different from anything else I could have seen in my life. I don't
Do
know
you
if you
try a
have.
book?
Oh,
Do you try a book of dream interpretations?
I
They were
don't
very
believe in
popular
that.
several years
I
ago.
don't
Yeah,
believe
I
in
know.
dreams.
Jung's
They always say
greatest.
that or you're pregnant or you're gonna be
Yeah,
pregnant.
I
yeah,
am pregnant.
I
I have to come out. I have to confess, guys. I am pregnant. So, and I'll need to have a paternal leave. Yeah, so
Actually, it could be, it's not your brain, but who told you something. Actually, it could be your intestine. Actually, maybe nobody knows, but our intestines has a nervous system, and it's interconnected with brains. In even this interconnection can produce some dreams which you don't know about. Very strange, funny, but it's a fact.
no, it makes sense. Like if you eat, for example, too much, then it means that a lot of blood is present in your stomach area. That means that you've.
I mean that intestine has its own nervous system, and this nervous system is connected to our brain,
Mhm.
and they exchanging electric signals in this system. And our second nervous system affects what we feel, what we dream of about during our sleep time. And actually, it's quite unpredictable who and why told you and produced this image in your dream. And actually, it resembles shuffling of deck of cards. You had some memories before, some feelings, some how to say data from your receptors, vision receptors, feelings, tasting, hearing, and so on. And then brains during your sleep time reconnected, like shuffling, recombine these images, and as a result, you have a dream. And actually, sometimes I saw the very strange dream when I saw the real person who exists, but face of this person is not his face, absolutely different. But at the same time, I know that it is he or she. But why? Because I can suspect that because my brain reshuffling was the vision from one person to a knowledge from that this person attributed of another person and combined in one piece. And as a product, I see the person with another face, different face, but know at the same time that it's Misha or Igor. Actually, it's very strange, but I think it works this way. Like random, maybe not random, but it may be follow some rules which we don't know. But at the same time, I think it's a combination of our experience which we had before. So
Well, that kind of coincides with what that quotation, I don't remember whose, says that the thoughts we ignored during the daylight will come back for revenge at night, something like that. And I just wanted guys to maybe slowly move to the wrap-up stage, because it's been 2 hours and a half, and however nice it is, it's been, I think some of you Let's go what, sorry?
To sleep.
To sleep. No, I'm going to lose my humanity in Deus Ex in the nearest 2 or 3 hours, so you're welcome to watch. But I'm afraid that some of you might kind of get tired, and that's going to deteriorate the conversation and your experience. That's why I think, as we were saying in Russian, if it is nice, let it be a little bit of this nice. So I just want.
It?
Oh.
Do we say it in Russian?
Yes. Yes, like this, like if something nice should be like portional, like you shouldn't have too much of this
I
nice.
never said it.
You mean you don't agree with the phrase?
No, I just that's the first time I hear it.
Okay, I'll translate it later, just not to break the, not to cause you. Not to provoke you to make this face again. I won't survive this look and think. So yeah. So the feedback section is that we just share our impression of the meeting that has just been happened, and maybe you had some ideas that you didn't have a chance to express, but you still have this idea kind of trying to jump out of your mind. So now you can do that. So who would like to begin with the feedback?
Can I
Yeah,
start?
sure, please.
Oh, like I'd like to say that this is generally this is the first time I'm here, and I'm so delighted to be here. Andrew, thank you for. I don't know. I asked you about whether you are having these classes or not, but thank you for giving me this option. Thank you for inviting me, because I'm so happy to meet all of you, and I will be glad to join you again. Do you have that every week?
Yes.
On Saturday?
Yes, exactly.
That's so nice. And thank you for this full of interesting information talk. Vadim, you're like a professor. I don't know. I have no other words, because you always have something to say.
I didn't want to be professor, especially in this chat.
Okay, I just have this impression, and this is not bad. This is just how I met you and see. And
Nesta, you met Vadim at Kamenka, right? For the first time.
What?
You met.
Of course, I met him. Of course. I'm very happy to be here, to have this practice, to have this chance, and I also wanted to talk about déjà vu, because that's the interesting thing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think we can discuss it some other day.
Let's put it into our pool of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what else I'd like to say? That, Andrew, you're giving really the brilliant chance to people who want to practice, who want to speak, who want to learn.
You can drop this part. That's.
I just want to say this is really what I think, and guys, you are all so interesting. You are all so skillful. I mean, in English, and you are all so interesting, and. I will be really glad to join you again, and thank you for this evening.
Thank you, Nasta. Thank you. So, who next?
Are you shy?
Okay, I can. So I very like these meetings, and I really want it to be my kind of routine. Every Saturday, I know that I have a meeting with you guys, and we will talk about very interesting things. And yeah, it's a very good maybe habit, a very good routine that I would like to include to my life in a regular basis. So yeah, thank you all, and it was really interesting and exciting to discuss and to see all the opinions and all to share my experience, to listen about your experience. It's very interesting, and it's all about people and all that connected with people. Always interesting and exciting. Yeah.
Thank you, Masha. It will be great if you could make it every
Yeah.
time. That's just
I would like.
exactly what
Yeah.
we need. Kind of permanent, how to say, core of people. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Who next?
Well, I can agree with Masha because I'd like to have it my every Saturday routine too. I really like being here, and guys, you're wonderful. I really like to just talk to you, to hear you, and it's so nice, to have a chat in English and not try to make your like the person who you talk to make it pay you or something like that. Like it's my job. I always try to make my acquaintance to pay me.
Yeah.
And here I can just talk, and thank you for this opportunity. And it was really nice to meet all of you who I haven't met before.
Could you clarify for me? I didn't get that. You make people pay you for.
Yeah,
It's-
my customers. It's all about our
it's because
customers.
they want our products, but they don't want to pay. And I'm the person who okay, we're really happy to work with you, but could you please pay the bill?
Like the conversation
It's
is
been a
not
month,
about money.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember one joke from, not a joke, but complaint actually, which was very funny from one guy who was learning Russian. He said like it was so horrible because of, well, various difficulties, and as soon as people discovered that you spoke English, they turned into English, and so you couldn't even practice your Russian with them because they were like, no, let's speak in English. So,
Yeah.
right, thank you, Eugenia. Would love to have you here too. There was some conflict happening, and Vadim,
Is that the brother?
Just want to join too. Neighbors want to join.
Oh, bring him here. We want to see him.
Is there someone who wants to say something?
Okay, I may say, so it was a very live conversation today. Thank you very much. And yes, probably it's a good idea to create a pool of ideas. Probably we will ease the task for Andy for a while. Like he will not think every time or what to talk about, what to think about, what to discuss, but we will give some ideas probably.
Yeah, I wanted to say that too, because Andrew is probably having the kind of thing which he's always to solve. Maybe we can just like jump from one topic to another. Like if you think about something now while we are talking about dreams, for example, like I'm thinking about déjà vu, can I just say, for example, let's talk about déjà vu, and we're like, okay, so I have déjà vu sometimes. Andrew, is it a point, or we just, or it's better to, or you'd like we to talk about everything you prepared or something? Maybe will it help you? Will it be useful, or how it will be?
I will answer with a question. Do your students usually appreciate when you respond to what they come with, or when you impose on them what you think is good? I mean, if your student is excited about something to talk, will you interrupt your student and tell, no, let's talk about culinary?
Of course, sorry for my question. That was obvious because always when I work with students, I always appreciate everything they say. I always, if they say and if they have something to share with me, I always appreciate it. I always take it into account and try to even more talk about that if I can. And I can spend more time talking about things that they are interested in. So that was the question, just because this is not the one kind of structure for every lesson. Like every school works differently, and if I work with one system, like with one method, you can work with another one. Like you prepare something for lesson. I never do that. I work like in the moment, in the real life. That's why I ask you, because maybe you'd like to share with us some vocabulary or something, or you would like to introduce us something.
No, it's not about teaching. It's not about teaching at all here. It's just conversation. So what I come to as a teacher is the best thing you can do actually is not to prepare, which is kind of, and of course, a presumption that you are prepared. And what it means is that it's not that you have a lesson plan that you want to strictly follow, but it is that you are ready to switch to something that your students expect from you, or that you see that you can catch a moment and proceed with that. So it means that you are so versatile that you can actually respond to any immediate call. And that's a very different level of preparation that requires basically all-round education. That means that you have to actually challenge yourself with all possible disciplines. That is not that you study English, but that you study law, philosophy, sociology, economics, art, and like you just don't let yourself stagnate. That's the most essential point, because people will challenge you. People will come to lessons and they will say, well, let's talk about that. Or they will expect you to talk about that, or at least respond, or at least ask correct questions. And if you don't, then it's where your class will fail. And well, in this respect, of course, naturality are definitely more preferable than any prepared thing. So, and in this respect, what I should say is that you might think that like this topic about déjà vu might take off next time. Well, it might. It might if some of you or the majority of you are still going to hold this topic in their heads. What might happen is that next time you'll come in a different mood and you'll actually not remember, or you will not want to remember about this topic, and you will go with what will be actual and relevant for you at that moment. That's why I think, and I quite feel sad about that, I would love to have some kind of like consecutive sessions of English, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lessons, and there should be kind of immersion, kind of a plunge, or to have like long session of 6 hours with breaks, like full education course, which is impossible in Krasnoyarsk, or next to impossible. But because this will allow really comprehensive and deep and really immersive education, and not only education but communication, because that will allow us to develop some really conceptual topic, like take for example subconsciousness, and actually spend 1 hour in preparation, and then 2 hours on debates, and 1 hour on grammar and vocabulary, and 2 hours on feedback. And that will be like very consistent model, very effective, and that will really enrich your experience in all possible ways. While if we have 1 week gap, then who knows what will come up. And in this respect, so the best thing we can do is to be responsive, to be willing to talk to each other and listen to each other. That's the best preparation you can arrive with. So what you're right about one thing, definitely about one thing, is that about many things actually, and especially about the fact that we need to have ideas. Like you go to a meeting, it's nice if you can think before that, well, what is it that actually troubles me now, or what am I feeling curious about, what do I want to ask people about, what maybe life situation prompted me to be curious about that, and maybe they will give me some more opinions, or maybe you have an issue that you would like to collect opinions for, and that's all very welcome. That's actually what happens in life. That's why you go to your friends. And how is English different from regular social meetings? How is this what's happening now different from your meeting with friends sitting in a cafe? Well, not much different. Like different language, yes, there is still some kind of air of artificial air, but still it's going to melt. The better we communicate, the less we will feel this artificial feature. But like when you go to a meeting with your friends, you don't prepare a topic, right? It's nice to have a topic. That's high social skills. That's high soft skills. That means that you're really this social lion. that you know that you will have to manage the conversation and you will challenge your friends with this question. That's kind of what we see in classical books. If you remember some fictional literature, there is always some guy who always says, well, guys, what do you think of that? And that's actually high kind of, this is usually an intellectual who has this kind of things at hand. And he or she is always ready to launch this at a group of people, partly because it is good facilitation for social communication, partly because he or she is genuinely curious about that. And this is absolutely necessary for successful and pleasant communication. Well, that's my answer.
Thank you. Alisa, sorry for interrupting you. I'm so sorry. Just go back to your answer, please.
Alessia, your mic is off.
I have said everything I wanted to say, so this was all. I have just remembered, it has dawned on me that there was a UN model of United Nations conference.
That was big, yeah.
And there was like, I'm voting for example, for a theme, voting for a theme of dreams, and people just raise their hands, put likes. So it has just me reminded, probably someone will like say, let's talk about this, and people like. No, it's just probably it's not these kind of things for English speaking club, but this just that has hit me.
I give you the class.
Right. So yeah. I wanted just to say how lovely it is, but especially being in quarantine. I keep on going on about quarantine, locked up inside, and it's just, and I love traveling. I've always loved to travel, and it's just wonderful. I look forward to every week my trip to Russia and meeting all of you from Russia, except George. Soon.
Sorry, George.
I am here in Russia.
I just love it, and I just. I just feel I'm traveling, and I love this. Such fun, and I think you all speak such great English. Sometimes somebody says, "What was that word?" And oh my goodness, it's my mother tongue. I can't think of this word. I get into a bit of a. You really. I would hate to be speaking Portuguese or Russian. I mean, I couldn't. But I think you're all amazing.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Georges, do you have something to say?
Just a short thing. It's a quite, how can I say, classic. Thanks for the opportunity to
thanks to parents, to my friends, to my university.
It's really nice to share our interesting opinions, and I love how the conversation flows. I mean, we started talking about sleeping, and then about lights on our mobiles and how it influences on your brain, and then we start talking about dreams, and I just love how it changed, and I love because everyone has a good opinion and interesting opinion or facts about any topic, and that's why I like to be here and talking to you guys.
Thank you. We really appreciate your presence. I mean, that's vitally important to have internationality here. It's just very cool. And we would love to have you, even if you are far away, somewhere overseas. Sure. Still, it's going to be cool. And Vadim?
Actually, I gave a lot of feedbacks, and I want to add only one thing about Zoom.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Better options for us. Interface is better, more convenient. I can see all people at once and in one screen. It's amazing. And some visual effects. Maybe I am wrong, but the process of speaking. I mean, when I speak, I can't speak well. No, actually, I tried to find a picture, but don't want to offend the feelings of believers.
Yeah, please avoid that.
refrain to upload.
So, do you mean that umbrella was some important religious symbol?
No, actually, it's how to say most harmless pictures which I find at the moment.
Umbrella.
Umbrella. I just tried.
Okay.
I just tried it and quite satisfactory. I mean, the process and say options which we have in this format. As format, I mean technique. Zoom, it's better. Wow. You have mustache or it's
Okay, I like that.
Oh?
There, the surface of Earth resembles your that you have some mustache.
Because
Like
I
a soft
nice.
because I do.
And
So-
makeup.
Well, I envy women that they can have makeup without social reprimand. Usually, I can't.
Well, I'm not sure you should envy that.
I mean, it's nice. It's nice when you can alter your appearance, like changing. I mean, I would love to change a lot of things, but not yet. Not yet.
Makeup is not necessary. You can change your say shape or color of your skin.
Well, the price of such alterations is too high. I'm not talking about money. It's just about biochemical changes. Well, I want to just ask one last thing about the number of people. So if we keep our number like 8, 9, maybe including me, that's going to be too many, or it's still kind of acceptable.
I think we need to check it. And,
We checked last time. There were 9 people.
yes, I think we need to see how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Let it be 10 or even 12 people. Why not?
12? Are you serious?
It's always too much, I think. I think 10 and 9
Yes,
is
this
okay.
is too much.
9?
I guess
No,
9 is
no.
good because 9 looks so well on the Zoom screen.
Yes.
Ah, sure. Yeah.
Perfectionist thing, and
Maybe.
I agree. Yes, 9 is going to kind of complete this picture.
But the picture
Yeah.
maybe will be smaller, like small images.
Well, now it is the same grid as with 9 people because we have 8. So I was just thinking about limiting maybe to 6, but that will greatly decrease our possibilities of invitations. Like definitely someone will have to wait or change, take turns, and I don't want to reject people. Well, with this thing, I just wanted to ask you guys to tell me in advance, usually better like 2 days before it happens, that you would like to participate, because that will, you can't imagine, but it will really extraordinarily improve or decrease my anxiety about the forthcoming event, because I'm very anxious about like who will come, if this person will come, and so on and so forth. So that will help me have less stress about the future thing. Yeah.
Can I just book my place now?
Sure. Booked. Anyone else wants to?
Me?
What?
Saturday.
There is a
Please.
place.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Who would
were you
like to
talking
book?
about,
Who would like to book the place for next Saturday?
Yes, I'm happy to book.
I like.
Yeah. So Nastya, Alessia,
confirm.
Eugenia, Masha, Vadim, Caroline, you would like to meet next
Yes,
time?
yes.
Okay.
I would.
Georges?
I cannot confirm anything.
All right. So let me know when you know the information. So, right. I think that will be it. Let's call it today. And so, first of all, thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciated really the flow of the conversation. It was really absolutely marvelous that we had like naturally coming questions and naturally coming answers. That was amazing. And I really admire your participation and the politeness and kind of respect to each other about ensuring that everyone has a chance to speak and understand the context of the conversation and without interruptions, and that we kind of that we follow etiquette rules. I mean, that's you can't imagine how important it is for the impression of the conversation, and I think we are doing really greatly. And so I'm very grateful to you. And the second thing, now to the observers, to the chat and to the participants. So I'm going to take 10 minutes break. Then I'll come back and play Deus Ex, probably like for 2 hours, around 2 hours. So if you'd like to continue watching, please stay with us. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend. See you soon, guys.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Thank
weekend.
you. Same to you.
Same to you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.